Stronger.
Imagine a world without choices.
Stronger.
Imagine you can't make your own decision. That wouldn't be a world for me. That wouldn't be a world for you. UIC.
Tell them we're gonna be stronger. Together, together we can make it right. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. Gonna be stronger together. Time we all just unify. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. It is a natural right for every human being to be free. Free, so free. So the government is there to protect you and me. UIC objective is to liberate the citizens from colonial bondage, them regulation, them taxation. Rob Jamaica, we independent. Be stronger together, together we can make it right. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. We're gonna be stronger together. Come, we all just unify.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of UIC Liberty TV. My name is Joseph Patterson, and tonight we have a very special guest in the house who is going to be, I think the studio producer said she's going to grill me. Well, I don't do too well with being grilled, but let's see how it's going to go tonight. I had the pleasure of watching some of her shows, and I can tell you that she's far more dynamic than me. And will bring some amount of cuteness to tonight's program. So I'm looking forward to hearing all the questions she might have and what she has to share about, her views on the UIC and what she sees happening in Jamaica. I am very happy to see we have quite a few of you on already. Welcome and good night to you. Big up Mr. Myrie, my favorite taxi driver, Paula Shelly, Dorrit Elliott, big up from Manchester. AV, good evening. Good to see you as well. Cool guy as always. And Javon, I think it is. Wilson, welcome and good night to all of you, as well as our good friend, I think it's JHW, or where is it? I'm gone. Anyways, good night to all of you and welcome. So tonight we're not going to waste a lot of time with me talking. I'm going to go right into welcoming our guest tonight and allowing her to introduce herself. Many of you may know her from her very, very exciting and popular vlog. But for those of you who don't know her, you'll get a chance to meet her tonight and hear from her and us as we share and talk. Welcome, Miss Shelly-ann. How are you doing?
Welcome. Can you hear me? Because the volume went right down.
Loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I'm having you went very low.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Good night, everybody. This is your tea time queen, Shelly Curran.
All right. I'm going to try to see if I can imitate that. Good night, everybody. This is... No, I can't do it.
Yes, you have to try it.
No, I'll try. But welcome, Dawn. Thank you for joining us at such short notice to have a chat about Jamaica and for you to get a chance to learn more about the UIC directly from me as the president and our many followers online who will be probably sending us some thoughts and questions as well. What do you know about the UIC? Do you know anything about us?
Well, the UIC is a third party. I know that you have different views, and might I just add that I'm not here to grill you.
Okay.
I am here to find out more about you because I'm interested. And I first saw you on Andre's program, and I was intrigued. But I have concerns that such an intelligent man as yourself, with certain views of how the country should run, why people don't even remember what UIC name is or what it stands for. It's not you're not getting the traction, and it's not a disrespect I would like to see the UIC being in more in the mainstream. So I wanted to educate myself,
Mhm.
and actually I sent a message to because um, tea time is just about my views and my truth and my honesty, and I see the country going in a terrible direction. Okay,
Mhm.
if anybody ever followed Shelly Curran even before the vlogs, I'll just give you a quick background. My son, godfather, is Edward Siago. Okay? And his name is John Edward Curran. Okay? Real deal. So I
Mhm.
spend many Sundays and many football matches with him. I just don't brag about it like bro God. But I'm one of his daughters. Right? So with that said, my history has been voting legacy would be JLP consistently,
Mhm.
blinded by green. But after taking some reflection on my country and stepping back, I really see the country going in a different direction. And I realize that my party before country is probably one of the reasons why we're all in this state. So I decided to come out with what is maybe, I don't know if anybody want to say it's biased. I don't care. It's really calling it what it is through my eyes. I might be wrong. I might be right. So I see the country as being on the verge of being we don't know, I'm not so bright like you, Mr. Patterson, but our democracy is at stake, right? So for me, I realized that when we were all celebrating, and we, the green people, when the country in 2020 election was green, I was jumping up and down and singing. But now I realize how dangerous that was for all of us, right? So, with the reflection of that, it doesn't make sense for me to beat down the PNP or a party that is trying for a better Jamaica, right? So, I'm just throwing my cards out so you know who I am,
Mhm.
right? So, it intrigued me, your views. I just want to know what are some of your plans, because if you did a poll, which I'm no Don Anderson, and I have to make a living, so me can't spend my time on politics because it doesn't pay me. Neither does tea time, so I have my other business. So my question is, how do you plan? I guess this is the question I'm asking. How do you plan to get UIC out into the public domain, that it becomes a known party?
Very good question, Shelly. Now, can I call you Shelly or should I say Shelly-ann?
Shelly-ann is when I'm in trouble. Shelly is fine.
All right, Shelly. Good. Now, I'm glad you asked that question first because it touches on a core problem we have in the so-called democracy we have in Jamaica, which many Jamaicans have not come to a full realization of. We have played politics for 80 years between PNP and GLP. And so we've gotten used to it and we think it's okay. But let's go behind the scene a bit, go behind the veil and part the veil and look and see what's going on. So you might recall our good friend Marcus Garvey, our first national hero. He was the first person to form a political party in Jamaica, the very first person. There is no political party before Marcus Garvey's party. When Marcus Garvey formed this party, he started to galvanize the Jamaican people around the very principle or principles that the UIC is talking about right now. The plantocracy, the white landowners and the half-white Jamaicans and the black Jamaicans who thought they were white came together and realized how dangerous it was if the ideals of Marcus Garvey should take root in Jamaica and we truly become a liberated people and have equal opportunities where both white and blacks would have to compete in a fair and open economy that affords everybody equal opportunity. So here what they did. The Gleaner Company combined with the People's National Party, out of which the JLP would come, together with the central controlling element, which is the plantocracy. Today we call that the PSOJ, the people who have a whole heap of money. They came together and did everything possible to destroy Marcus Garvey and his party, and they succeeded. Today, 80 years later, the same thing is being played out. What are they doing? They're making sure that when you turn on your TV in the mornings or in the night, you do not hear anything about the UIC. When you read the newspaper, you don't hear anything about the UIC. When you listen to your radio, you don't hear anything about the UIC. But every morning, every evening, and throughout the day, and on every newspaper, including what's on the internet, what do you see? JLP, PNP, JLP, PNP, JLP, PNP. Now, who pays for that? The plantocracy that we now call the PSOJ. They give these two parties millions of dollars every day to keep up the game, to keep up the facade, to make us think that we have a choice. So while you were a die-hearted JLP and my mother was a die-hearted PNP, and both of you are clashing and fighting, what you don't know is that behind the scenes is a group of people, which I call the PSOJ oligarchs, the business elites, which are dangling before us these two choices, which are no different from the other, except by the color which they espouse, the ideologies which they claim to believe in, but at the end of the day, they both work for the same master. And that master is the PSOJ oligarchy, which is in full concert with the colonial powers because they want to maintain the same master-slave economic model, which keeps us as low-wage earners, which keeps us as subjects of even the Queen and the colonial powers, while they milk us, ripping away our land with bauxite mining, ripping away our labor with low wages, and ripping away the very fabric of our culture as we become vagabonds and scammers and corrupt persons at our core over the 80 years of their cultural sensitization in the direction that Jamaica is today. So the UIC has come on the scene. You may have seen me when I got locked up because we really pressed on that issue when they tried to say they're going to inject us against our will. And I said, absolutely not. I'm not against medications of any sort, but I'm against anyone taking away your right or my right to choose what goes into our body. And so I came face to face with them on the street. They sent out everything. The entire police force came out against one little man and 499 or so other people. And so they did everything possible to crush us. And instead that caused many people to become aware of the UIC. But then after that, they put in Plan B. And Plan B is to make sure you stifle him by not acknowledging him, not recognizing the party, and doing everything possible to suppress their existence so that Jamaicans continue to think JLP versus PNP. That's the plan.
Correct. But
Yeah.
I have to stop there now because so you realize that I found out a lot about your party on an untraditional media platform.
Yes.
And that would have been Andre Stevens' program. And that was my introduction. Yes, I do remember the arrest or the I don't know if you were arrested, but I remember that
Yes, I was
fiasco.
arrested, yeah. Mhm.
Correct. but important because there's a movement that is happening in Jamaica, and where bloggers
Mhm.
are also coming under attack because we are not supported by the private sector, and we are speaking and we are allowing guests, untraditional guests, and we are searching and we are finding and we're reporting in our own ways.
Mhm.
Yes. And it seems to be getting a lot of attention out there because people like realness, I think. Um, I would love if you got, and I'm going to speak for the bloggers because I've seen where we have influenced real murder, well, alleged murderers being um at least being arrested, right? Crimes being sought after and all of that. But still, the narrative out there is that we are bringing false news, and the only place you can hear anything is nationwide. If it's not nationwide, or if it's not upca, it no go so.
Mhm.
So, but it's very it's a distorted truth, and certain things like what I'm being slapped with a lawsuit. Nationwide actually came out with it before me, but me never seen a lawsuit. I didn't come out and say anything, I didn't retweet anything. So you can see the target. So, how do you feel about engaging the untraditional media to get your message out?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, long before you and I have now engaged, I started on that circuit and I noticed something very interesting. Here's what happened.
One
I,
second. You know what I'm going to do because it's
uh,
very important. And I got a call and I'm
yeah.
not hearing you. I'm going
Oh,
to log out
right. And
and
come
we
back.
just catch it right back. But I want to hear you clearly.
Sure.
All
Go right
right?
ahead. Yes.
Okay.
All right, folks. So we'll wait for Shelly-ann Curran to come back and join us on this very important conversation here.
I'm
Um,
here.
all right. Welcome back, Shelly. All right.
Yes.
So your question is about me using the bloggers or the vloggers as a springboard to get out there. And I've noticed something interesting. We started out that way and we continue to make ourselves available. But I've noticed something really interesting happening even with the vloggers. I go on a program once. Let's say I come on your program. Uh,
Sorry.
no worries, no
Yes.
worries. It's normal for interruptions to happen when you're on this program.
Yes.
So anyways, so what has happened with me and a number of bloggers, I go on their program once, then their followers are asking them repeatedly to bring me back, and for some reason they don't bring me back. I don't know why. Why is it that when I go on the program, for example, take Unstoppable, I've been on Unstoppable maybe 2 or 3 times, and then person says, "Bring back Mr. Patterson," and nothing happens. I've been on Andre Stevens, "Bring back Mr. Patterson," nothing happens. Then you have bloggers like there's another one where I've seen on their vlog people constantly asking to bring on the UIC. They've brought on everybody else,
But Tea
JLC.
Time contacted Mr. Patterson
Right.
before she couldn't remember your name on our last show. And
I don't know
nobody
what
never
happened.
did answer Auntie Shelly.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Why we never? Oh, she's frozen now. Uh, but I don't know what happened. Why we never got your message? I have. It's the first I'm. Our contact person from my end said, "Hey, here's a program that's happening." She mentioned UIC the other night. She couldn't even remember the name, and I said, "Okay, bring her on." And that's why you're here.
Right.
Tonight. But had I known
Yes.
before, I would have been there. I've been on, so many Wayne Lonesome, SoFlo, Andre, of course. I've been on a number of them, and every one of them that I've been on, it has gone very, very well. Very warm reception from the audience. Now, sometimes the host may be a little bit aggressive and, try to, get certain points scored or whatever. But I have always been able to deal with the listeners and the viewers because I'm here for the Jamaican people. I'm not here to push or deny an agenda from any vlogger. I'm here to push the agenda of the Jamaican people. And Shelly, what the Jamaican people want, even if they don't know it, is good governance. And what they have right now is a system of bad governance. If you ever understand the system, you'd want us to burn that system immediately. I'll give you an example. The Prime Minister in the current system has a complete control of the Senate by virtue of the fact that he appoints every one of them unilaterally, every member of the Senate on the government side, so to speak, 13, an automatic majority. No, that is wrong. A good system would have elected senators where the citizens of the country in the 14 parishes elect one senator per parish to go to the Senate. Instead, the system we have, the Prime Minister gets to appoint 13 senators unilaterally, and then he holds over their heads the carrot of, if you behave yourself, I'll give you a ministerial portfolio. If you don't behave yourself, nothing for you. The same thing happened in the House of Representatives. Every MP on the government side is beholden to the Prime Minister. Please, Mr. Prime Minister, give me a ministerial post so I can have more status, I can gain access to more spending, and I can have more opportunities for corruption. Please, Prime Minister, give me one of those positions. So every MP is going to behave themselves and not challenge the system, not challenge the government, not challenge the Prime Minister, because if they were to ever dare to challenge him, unless they have something upon him, otherwise, if they ever dare to challenge him, they won't get a ministerial position and the plump paycheck that comes with it and the opportunities. So as long as we maintain this system, Sister Shelly, it's a system that invites and encourages corruption. And that's why Jamaica is so extremely corrupt, because the very system of governance we have is corrupt. The UIC wants to get rid of that system.
But the system has been there for what you said, 80 years?
Yes.
So it's a long rooted system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be frank. I had a conversation. I picked up my father from the airport and I said, this is what I'm having a conversation with the UIC. He says, who is that? And I said, third party, and this is their views. And he says, yes, it's needed, but it will never happen. His views, because he says it's a long standing, embedded in our system of green and orange, and this is how it works. Just a thought. Is there any somebody's asking me on my platform to ask the questions, but here this one.
Sure.
Is there because to actually, like, I believe your intentions, but sometimes you have to actually play a different, I don't know how to term it, a different ball game to score or pick some teams. Did you ever think to have a conversation with, say, one of the parties that is more in line with your thinking to become more powerful?
Well, it has been raised with me many times, but it is a very dangerous proposition and one that I would never entertain, and I'll tell you why. Shelly, we have to remember what we're dealing with. We're dealing with two organized criminal gangs. I know it sounds horrible, but this is the fact. We're talking about two gangs that have engaged in, for example, the importation of guns that they have distributed in our country. They have organized garrison communities built around gangs and dons. Many Jamaicans have lost their lives and property due to these two institutions. What you're asking me to do is to align myself with a known criminal
No, not
entity.
asking you to do.
Okay, what you
I
are
am
in,
asking if you ever thought,
sure, absolutely. So what you're
because I
asking
am
is
not
simple.
sure.
Yes,
As I will, but I want nobody twist up my words. So let me just be clear. 1 second.
absolutely, absolutely.
What I wanted to say is, yes, we know that importation of guns
No,
and all of that, but I would hate
no, I
to
want to go
really
further.
classify everybody
No,
because
let me clarify for you, Miss Shelley. This is important.
mhm,
This is not a personal attack now, right? This is not even a partisan attack. This is a desire for us as Jamaicans to come to terms with the reality of our politics. We have afforded these two parties 80 years of our history to give us some basic things. One party, the one that is now vying to take back power, they've had 18 and a half years straight. No other party has gotten such a long, straight access to power and access to fixing our country. They have used that 18 and a half years to perpetrate one of the most massive transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich by virtue of FinSac and similar hidden forms of theft from the Jamaican people. If I were to align myself with the PNP, that's what I am endorsing. I am
okay, I got
endorsing,
you.
I'm
I got you
endorsing,
loud and
yes,
clear. I
no,
got you loud and clear, but it's because we've seen a
yes,
third party come in. That's the NDM, correct? If me come always I get people name wrong,
yes,
and it didn't work out.
yes.
So what
Why,
I'm really
what's
saying
different
now, I
now?
understand that you are on your vision for a change Jamaica and you're not altering it. So my second question would be, what are you doing then to go out there? Are you planning road tours? Because not even the bloggers can help, not even the traditional. So do you have a roadmap then for the next 2 years to really, what are your plans? I have not seen anybody up Jack's Hill side telling me that they're running for your party. So I need to know who are the people. I've seen your face. I'm not seeing a team. Now I might be wrong, but me not see them. So I want to know when is this roll out because it's not one man. You have to have MPs over different. So who are the people? So Shelly, who don't plan say me not voting the green people, but me not really see your people to know them to have a conversation. Where do I meet them up at? I'm up at Chuck Place. So I want to know them.
Absolutely. Now you've mentioned a
Right.
lot of things, and I want to reply to all of them. So,
Yes.
so we are busy building our team and building the movement. Now you have not seen it, but prior to my arrest, I had done seven what we call walk for liberty. So we started out in Kingston at Hero Circle. We went to Portmore, then to Spanish Town, then to Maypen, then to Manchester, turn around and come back to Kingston, and I got arrested. We also did an all-island tour. We started in St. Elizabeth, went all the way around Westmoreland, Hanover, Trelawney, all the way to back to Portland. We didn't make it to St. Thomas in that particular one. Then we went back to St. Thomas. We've been around, and we continue to do what we're doing. Now, where you're feeling the disconnect is that when we do these things, it's not covered, right? So, and if it's covered, for example, during the COVID period, it's covered only to say, oh, they're anti-vax, and they do a little thing to kind of say anti-vax. They don't cover all of our other movements. For example, now we have a budget going on. Nothing from us gets covered in the press as to our response to any of the budget items. Nothing
Hold
at
on,
all.
you had a response?
Of course. So
No,
nothing is
sir. Me
covered.
need you on tea time.
So all of these things, every issue that comes up, we have a response. Whether it's the taxi operators, we have a response. Whether it's the teachers' strike, or whether it's the firefighter we had going up on the top, halfway tree there, we always have a response. Now today, I got calls from two media outlets. I must admit, I just got an invitation from nationwide to be at a program they're going to have about the polling that was done without us. They're going to have something on Monday, and they want me to be a part of that discussion, even though they did not include us in their news to say, Jamaica has a third party called the UIC and the poll only carried this, say something that makes sense. They didn't, but I'm invited. I'm thankful for that. I also got a call today from IRA FM to be on Muta Baruka's program tomorrow at 3:30, I believe. So, we've been raising some noise about this, and we'll have a protest action on the 19th in Half a Tree. That's I didn't give the location yet because it's kind of a secret. It's going to be published tonight, I believe.
Okay.
So the 19th is one, and then of course on the 26th we have our what the PNP and GLP call conference. We have our members Congress on the 26th, and there will be some stuff coming out of that. So we're doing things, but you're not seeing us, and we know that, and we're working on it. In terms of a team, we have a team. You may not have met our chairman, Mr. Winston Wright. You may not have met our general secretary, Mr. Chase Neal, who is our education spokesperson. Mr. Wright is our justice and national security spokesperson. Ms. Naika Williams is our treasurer. We have 3 vice presidents. You might have spoken with Ms. Powell, Jasmine Powell, who's a vice president from the county of Surrey, and so on. So we're working steadily to give you what you're asking for. Now, it's difficult, and I'll tell you why. Many of the smart, bright people in Jamaica are very averse to getting involved in politics. So they kind of hold back. So you're trying to get the best candidates to be available, but they hold back. They hold back because they're aware of the political victimization that's involved. When you put your hand up, somebody wants to chop it off, right? So there's lots of challenges there for those people to step forward. Some of them, when they do step forward, it's the worst among them, the ones that choose to go to the PNP and GLP. And why do I say this? Any well-thinking Jamaican who has studied what they're about to get into, you should have a hard time joining any of those 2 parties, a really hard time joining, based on what they've done to our country and what they're still doing. Right now, for example, the PNP is busy, like the Mr. Holness, parroting many of our policies. We spend the time and develop these policies, and they're busy copying and just, I heard them on your program, talking about stuff that were taken directly from the UIC manifesto, and just listing them and saying them nicely. And they know they have the cameras to do that. So they know that by the time they peddle all of our talking points, by the time the election come around and they start to look at, third party as a novelty, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to look at the third party as a novelty. Third parties can't win.
Is which one of the guests them steal your ideas? Which one? Because it's only Dayton, Raymond, and Carrie. Because me is a mix-up same way.
Yes, man. I tell you this. You take a look closely at what the UIC has been saying over the past few years, and listen closely now to what both Andrew and the PNP are saying. They suddenly become aware now, for example, of how important it is for us to become energy independent. They're now just aware that we can do water harvesting and become water secure. They have just become more aware about food security and how to go about that. So there's a lot of things now, and Republic, we have been pushing that. They know how our Republic is very different from theirs, but they're pushing a fake Republic. And we're strong on all of these issues. Now, the people of Jamaica don't get to hear this because TVJ, CVM, Gleaner, Observer, they never report it. So by the time the people hear from the UIC, they're saying, me hear that already. And these 2 parties have one special thing about them, which every Jamaican should remember. They have made you various promises before, 80 years of them. And to this very day, Jamaica is still not safe. It's still not clean. It's still not orderly. And poverty remains a significant problem. People still don't have water in their homes. There's some ribbon cutting to put up a standpipe. They put up a standpipe in a community and cutting ribbon about it. They have these little houses, literally a matches box, and say that you're giving people a house. And they have all kind of ribbon cutting for this. while the Jamaican people are living below the, look at teacher salary.
And
My
the
goodness.
matches box cost 18 million.
Exactly. And look at teacher salary. I mean, if you were to convert a teacher's salary to the US dollar equivalent, and why am I saying US? Almost everything in Jamaica is denominated in US dollars. They might put Jamaican, but your light bill is going to fluctuate with the US dollar. Your water bill is going to fluctuate with the US dollar. The goods you buy in the store, they're going to fluctuate with. So as long as our dollar is depreciating and inflation is taking off, your salary means nothing. So here's my proposal for the teachers, which they didn't pay attention to, and they're going to suffer because of it. I said to them, do not agree to a salary unless it is pegged to inflation. So two things. First, get the salary adjusted to your so-called livable wage, but then make sure it's pegged to inflation, because by the next day, your salary starts to drop as the value of the dollar drop and inflation takes off. So the teachers have actually shortchanged themselves by not listening to the UIC. Suppose CVM and TVJ had carried that. Suppose from we have been pushing that idea, that was big news. The teachers would have become more aware and more emboldened to press their delegate to say, no. We want a salary that is pegged to inflation. I hope the police are listening. I told them the same thing. Make sure your wages are pegged to inflation, because if not, the very next day, you start to get a pay cut. The next month, you pay a cut again. The next year, you pay a cut again. And by the time it comes around to your next negotiation, you'll be suffering as much or more than you're suffering now before you got the increase.
Absolutely, you're correct. I mean, I agree with all, 90%, if not more, on
99.9.
theory, on the view, and how to actually help rid of corruption, which is basically what is killing us.
Absolutely.
So let me just make a declaration that you should include Shelly-ann Curran. I'm not a big news network, but Tea Time is welcoming you to our platform for an equal balance.
Absolutely.
Because regardless if I'm vocal, that I'm not voting green, I am still giving everybody a chance, including the JLP, to come on Tea Time to express themselves. They have not decided to come again. That's their business. So anybody that wants to share the message on my platform, I am welcoming you, because I think that your party deserves a platform, so that 1 more, 2 more, 10 more, 20, how much thousand listen to me? 50,000 I get now? Yes, one of them 100,000 on TikTok. We're not even add up TikTok right now, So
Congratulations.
thank you. It's going, and it's just what, 14 episodes? 14 episodes? Yeah, we just started.
Well, I must tell you that I envy you, because I have not been able to generate that kind of viewership. And I think it has to do with the fact that I am talking politics. I mean, I think you...
Yes, politics is when the politicians come on the views drop.
Yeah.
That's why me have to do like a mix up.
Absolutely.
That's why me have to go find out what bro God wife and everybody I do. You understand? Because you have to keep the people interested to feed the message.
Yeah. So people,
you understand? Because we always leave with a message.
Absolutely. I mean,
if it doesn't have to be with politics, but it could be mental health.
Yes.
Because I'm vocal about being bipolar, Me vocal and proud of it, because it might save me on 2 lawsuits in the future. It's fine. Do you understand? So I think it's just important to speak about it, that some people, because Jamaica is suffering from so many things. Guess what? I am one that is on treatment, but there's many. I would have said more than half the population need to go and get checked out on some mental issue, whether it's depression or any other thing, and we're suffering. And it's so what I'm saying is I use tea time to not only bring little mix up our politics and what's going on, but I also try to bring awareness to things that are near and dear to my heart, so I can help people.
Yeah.
So we're not very different, Mr. Patterson.
No, well, we're not very different at all. I mean, first of all, we're Jamaicans, and so we're creative, we're thinkers. But I want to bring up a point you're making, which is the mental health situation in Jamaica.
Yes.
I remember when I returned to Jamaica in 2011, I said to my wife, I said, when I look in the eyes and the faces of many of our people, I can see that there's something going on that is not quite well. And I look in even at the children. I go around to the schools and I look at some of the children. You can see there's some deficiency, there's something happening. And the more I study it, the more I can see a connection between, and forgive me, politics and mental health situation. Now, when the Jamaican leaves Jamaica, here they can be extremely depressed. And the moment they land in another country, like
They
Canada,
feel better.
yeah, they just
No,
feel
but
better.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I'm just giving you an idea of just a single woman with kids that have to wake up every day to 6 or 7 murders, and I don't know if I'm going to sleep. I have to take something that I can stop thinking that somebody's going to climb my balcony. It's an awful way to live. And then when I go and visit my mom in DC, and they leave the doors open and I'm having a panic attack. Why are you not locking the door? Because we're so used to
Yeah, locking up
caging
everything.
ourselves
Yes, yes.
in. We all have mental anxiety. Or you're driving a Devon house and the beggars them just coming aggressively. Or you're walking down the street and you can't stop here. Today, a policeman touched me on my bottom and said, Brownie, I want to take you away. I just laugh. You know why I laugh? I don't even bother. You know why I laugh? Because we really don't know any better. We really don't know any better. And it's sad. It's
So the
sad that
point,
we don't even know what is appropriate. We live amongst it so much that it becomes normalized. And I understand that. So when Mitchell said me need something for go to sleep, it's because we have become so numb to what is happening. And we have to be depressed. And that's why a part of my program where I laugh at myself and wave the flag, I'm trying to make sure that people, because I've had 1 second.
Go ahead.
Sorry about.
Oops.
Yes, sorry, my artist. Just give me 1 second, Mr. Patterson. This is the life of an artist manager. 1 second.
All right, no worries, no worries. Yeah, one of the things I was going to point out a while ago is what it is that causes a great degree of depression here in Jamaica. For all the reasons Shelly just pointed out, which includes, living under this stressful condition of feeling insecure and unsafe. But what makes it even more crippling is living in a country where you feel like your hands are tied. No matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, somehow you just can't make it financially. If you notice the average person who goes to work, they go to work, and I saw this just recently in the supermarket. I was in the supermarket, and I was at the cash out counter, and this lady was there. She looks like a supervisor, and she needed to do the swiping of the card for my discount and stuff. But she looked so dazed and so disconnected from reality. And while she's standing beside me, she just burst out and she said, "We just want the money for open a little shop in my community, man, and just, man, that did work. And she's talking to herself, I am there, other customers are there. And we're like oblivious to her. And then I said to her, how much would you need to start the shop in your community? And we started to engage. But the pressure, the financial pressure, I believe, coupled with all the other things that people are going through, the struggle of being a parent, of being a spouse, of trying to manage life. And for the most part, the vast majority of us earn so little compared to the basic things of life that we want, the basic comforts. We're not talking about being super rich, just the basic comforts of life. You can't have it. You may watch it on TV, you may see it in your passing in the store, and you're longing and desiring just to be able to comfortably make a purchase. Now, when the same person goes overseas, I'm not saying life is a bed of roses. I mean, I have been there. I know it's not easy. It's not simple. You go to Canada, America, or England, you have to work hard. But the beauty of it is in working hard in those countries, at least at the time when I was there, you can kind of see a way out. You can kind of see how working hard equates to a bit of income that allows you to get the basics of life with a certain degree of comfort. I don't see many Jamaicans overseas stressed out, at least back then. Today it might be different, but stressed out just to get a full basket of grocery. You know, just to go to the supermarket and walk down the aisles and just pick up a few things, and you know, your basket is full, and you go to the counter and just pay comfortably and go home, and you see your fridge looking full, and you feel good about yourself, and you feel good about, you know, what you're doing. But here in Jamaica, when you go to the grocery store, you have to be if I'm butting about what you're going to pick up and put in that growth, and you're probably trying to do the mental calculation, how much this now, you know? And so when you're there at the counter and you're watching and you are tense with the bill that's coming up, you're hoping, will it be, you know, under a certain number that is going to be comfortable for you? And so it's very, 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 very stressful. Many of us therefore eat very poorly. We don't buy the kind of food we would like to buy to consume. We buy what our money can pay for. And oftentimes it's some, you know, poor packaged thing. Remember, sometimes you could go to the market and buy fresh food and stuff, but it might spoil quickly if you don't cook it right away. And just the time it takes to cook, some people are so depressed they don't have the time for that. They're stressed out with the regular job and doing the side hustle at the same time in order to make ends meet. And so it's really quite, oh, my good lady's back. Look at me running on and waiting for her, and she's back with me. Yes.
I'm back. I was listening.
Sorry. Yeah, man, I was just saying that the pressure that people are under, the security issue, all of what you just mentioned, but the money part, Miss Shelly, the money, when you can't buy the basic things in life to be reasonably comfortable. We're not talking about being rich now, just basics. So you go to the supermarket, you can buy some grocery and feel good about what you have gotten, and go home and your fridge look decent for the week, for the month, you know, and you can
I
feel
can't, I'm telling you, it's ridiculous for me to do for the month anymore. Those days are long gone. I do all 2-3 times for the week,
yeah.
and I buy what is, and people say, oh, Shelly, you're middle class. Well, middle class is feeling it. And then the thing about it though, I am a conscious Jamaican, because I am saying, if I am feeling it, what is my helper? What are the bus? When you see the figures, me have to ask them how them eat, because not even market I give it the same amount like one time.
Shelly, if somebody make 1.5 million a year, and I see them talking about some teaching classification where they get 1.5 or that kind of number, 1.5 million a year divided by 150, that's US $10,000 for the year. Okay, US 10,000 for the year divided by 12, and by the way, you know, divided by 12, that's 833 US dollars a month. Divided by 4, that's $208 a week. Now, think about, no, this is not minimum wage, you know, this is supposed to be
Good
people,
wage.
good wage,
Good wage.
good wage,
Yeah.
$208 a week US. What can you get for a decent living, for you to be living your light bill alone when the light bill comes? Because our government of the last 80 years didn't bother to invest in alternative energy systematically, so that by today we would have, say, 80-90% of our energy from our own sun and our own geothermal and our own biogas and our own hydro and our own wind. They didn't bother with that. So for 80 years, they sat down and waited for today to come, where the cost of energy is so high and we are still depending on importing oil for our energy.
I know our light bill is the highest in the world.
Absolutely. Now, how then, Miss Shelly, can I bring myself to vote? You know, I can't vote for any of the two. I must tell you, never. I never have, and I never will, and I never can. And that's why I created the UIC. I created the UIC for the vast majority of Jamaicans who have come to the same place, that there's no way in hell they can vote for one of these two parties given their dismal track records. The PNP going to fool we now. They're going to try very hard. They're going to touch with emotional strings. They're going to bring the nicest, soothing promises possible and say, yes, vote for we, because we now understand. We're going to do everything. And they are going to fail us again. You know why they're going to fail us again? Them navel string cut at corruption, just like the GLP. Okay? They had,
But this is the time now, though.
yes.
I'm a marketer. I don't know if you knew my history of my 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 full CV, right?
Mhm.
And I'm a marketer, and I'm going to tell the UIC that this is the time,
Mhm.
not time come. It's the
Yes.
time
It's the time.
to
Yes.
act very aggressively to
Yes.
get the message out, because that Clark's thing era, people are waking up,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
this is the time. So what Auntie Shelley really looking for, is not, you cannot do it on your own, Mr. Patterson. You're
No,
going to need, no
I need
care
you.
what
I need
philosophy you
you.
have.
I need
You,
you.
you probably need
I
me,
need
but
you. Yes.
yeah, you need someone like
Listen,
me,
no,
but
no,
you need
no, no.
vocal,
You don't want somebody like you. I want you.
McCasley. Yes.
I want. Listen, hear what? What is the price? What is the price we're talking about? Listen to this carefully. If you want Jamaica to be any better than this for your children and your grandchildren, you have to be prepared to make the kind of sacrifice I have made. This movement, no, hold on, Michelle. This movement has so far cost me a minimum, listen carefully, me personally and my wife and my children. I have three daughters, three beautiful girls, and they can tell you I have sacrificed them and my wife and our life for this. The minimum cost to me since I've started is $14 million. Minimum cost to me. Why am I doing this? I know that if I don't do it, when I was watching, I was reading the papers, listening to the Mutty Perkins and Barbara Gluden and the Ronnie Twaits and the Muta Barukas, and listening to all of them talk. And I said, somebody have to stop the talking. Somebody have to now do the doing. And so I have taken the time and prepared the way. I'm the John the Baptist for the rest of you, Jesus Christ. I have prepared the way for us to get this done. I have paid the price. Now all I'm asking is for more of us to decide to pay a small portion. Don't pay as much as me. Pay a small portion of the price too. Just imagine, Shelly, if 1% of the diaspora gave 25 US dollars a month, 1%, if just 2% of the Jamaican electorate gave $2,500 a month, we would have enough money to overcome the PSOJ, the media, and everybody. Because you don't go door to door on air and water, which is no longer free, by the way. You need gas. You need.
Mr. Patterson,
Yes.
I am prepared to pay $5,000 a month
Yes,
for my contribution. But
absolutely.
I still feel that you need soldiers, fearless soldiers, to get the message out. So
I
I
agree.
don't want to talk out everything because I need you on tea time. And there are
Yes.
certain things that are current issues that I would love to for you to talk about. The fireman that we
Absolutely.
never heard about that are current. But
Mhm.
my mission on here was to really say to you, it's a message. You need to get to somebody like me who happen to buck up on you on Andre program. So you're going to need people that knock on the door and say, nationwide, open up. You're really aware the green draws. It's too blatant. We know. You know,
Mhm.
come on.
Yeah,
You
man.
don't cover us, but it doesn't have to be you. But you're going to need people out there that is pushing for the and this is for Jamaica. Because I haven't made up
Absolutely.
my
And
mind on what party. I just know it's not green. But
yes,
for
yes.
better Jamaica, I am saying wh- when I get your message, I
Mhm.
log on. I would like to try it. I mean, it's clear. We've seen 80 years. So what is $5,000 for the or $10,000 for me or whatever
Yes.
it is? That's not the sacrifice I'm talking about, sir. The kind of
No, no, that is
sacrifice of
not.
service
That
I'm
is
talking
small.
about
Yeah.
is the I don't in this economic climate. The time that it's the what I would be resistant to be a what you call it a soldier, a shepherd, somebody, a
Mhm.
messenger. It's just that life has become so much harder. People have lost. People are grieving. My son died 2 years ago, and
Wow.
and I go on and on and on. And it's easy for people to say because I get messages just being on tea time. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? It's very draining. You kind of have to
Mhm.
take like how you decide to do it on this big national scope. And I say, hey, tea time is going to bring the news to people. Maybe a little mix up here and there, but go deeper into it because Jamaican people don't have any attention span, If you not
Mhm.
bring in the clocks little bit, or you don't dangle little carrot, you can't get them to see
Mhm.
the message. You won't.
Miss Shelley, it's very simple. Miss Shelley, the message, having a good message is very important. Having good people is critical. But here's the bottom line, and everybody must know this. The bottom line is this: if we do not fund a third party, it has no chance in hell. No matter what else we say, no matter what else we do, all of that is good enough. Marketing is very important, critical. You must have marketing, very, very important. But what we all need to understand is that somebody has to pay the bill.
Yes, but what
Right
is your
now,
plan for
hold on,
two
hold on,
years?
hold on,
The
hold on,
election
hold on,
is
follow
due
me.
in 2 years,
So,
and I never know how to
follow me.
sign up to fund the party. So how is the message going to go out?
Shelley, one of the problems that we have is we need to first understand the problem before we can build the solution. Don't expect a new third party like us to easily just wake up tomorrow and overcome the harsh reality of what I just described to you. And the harsh reality means that you see, when I just saw a fellow wrote a while ago, here where him said, I will start donating when I see more happening. That was the sum total of what he was saying. So he's saying, when you figure out how to do more with zero or less, then I will start donating. Miss Shelley, it can't happen. I have done as much as I can personally do. I have stretched myself as thinly as I possibly can. I have put myself on the diciest of edge. You know that they were trying. If they were able to find the secret key to demolish me earlier, you would not be talking about UIC now. They've tried so many things to get rid of me. So many things. Now, all they have to do is succeed with me in the way they succeeded with Marcus Garvey. And then we all have nothing more to talk about, more than to say, yeah, third parties can't win. When we are the problem. If we rise up, we're nothing than them, It's 63% of Jamaica that said them now didn't vote in the last election. The last poll they did, which is not necessarily a truly representational poll, but in the last poll, what did you see it saying? 44% said, we're not too sure about these two guys. 44%. And the rest are split down the middle between the two of them, with one dropping 13 and one dropping 3.7%. Now, the fact of the matter is, our people have been cultured by these two parties and those who run them, which is the PSOJ oligarchy, to not realize the role we have to play in politics. We are wait for politicians like we wait for Santa Claus.
So how do we contribute to the party?
Yes. So the way you contribute to the party is by joining at uicjamaica.com, volunteering at uicjamaica.com, and donating at uicjamaica.com. Everything is there for us. You can join, volunteer, and donate. All of us, if we come together, we will have far more than those who are keeping us down, and we'll be able to turn the table and rebuild our country and do that very quickly. But we have to do it
Well,
together.
I'm going to go on the website and see how I'm going to even test it out to see if it is something you have to continuously do, or you can put a standing order.
You can put a standing order in. Some people do that right now. There are some people giving $25 a month, some $10, some $50, and so on per month. So a standing order, or you can do whenever you feel like it. Some people don't have it. One guy, for example, tell me, Mr. Patterson, I don't know how my money I run. So when we get little something, we put on something for UIC, and then we just give it. One lady, she give once a year, 1,000. I think she gave 1,500 Canadian dollars every year. So she said, this year, here's my 1,500. This another guy in Cayman, every 3 months or so, he packages on and him send it. And other person just put it in the standing order. This is happening every month. But we have to do it, Miss Shelly. It's us, we the people. If we own this party, just imagine, if we were to be the first people on the planet to own our own party as a people, it's not now controlled by the big money interests. It's not controlled by the PSOJ. It's not controlled by foreign powers. Look what Portia Simple got herself into with they call it again when they had the Trafalgar, how it nearly messed her up. Look what Bruce Golding got himself into by being in a situation where he was highly compromised because of the association with certain people. We need to break away from that now by having a transparent, open, powerful people movement where it's grassroots driven. Is we own it. Nobody else don't own it. No Mahfoud, no Sandal, nobody. We the people. So no matter how rich you are in this country, you can't get your way just because you have the most money. Because
it sounds like a dream. It sounds like a dream. And it's a dream. I mean, if you love the country, I would love to give it a chance, even by support. Because it started by a dream with many strong black men around the world.
Look at the work that by the way, one of my heroes, I have only 5 national heroes. I don't know about 7. They tell us in school that we have 7. They only know about 5. The first one for me is Nanny. And I'll tell you why Nanny stands out from all the rest. Nanny was a woman, but listen carefully. She was a woman at a time when male dominance was far more than you could ever imagine. And as a woman, she became the first army general in the history of Jamaica. And she led an army right here. She's our first general. They don't teach it this way in school, If you taught Nanny properly in school, our girls would be so empowered, because this was the first female general in the history of Jamaica that led an army and defeat well-trained
I have the nanny
soldiers.
spirit. I know a
Yes, I
lot
know you
about
do.
nanny, and I have her
You
spirit.
can see it. So now she has led the way. She did something that most of us would shy away from. For her to take that stance and lead this massive organized effort to overthrow such a powerful foe and enemy and succeed to the point where they had to decide to enter into a treaty. That's Nanny. Sam Sharp, I'd rather die on yonder gallows than live in slavery. That's the spirit we need now. And right after him, Madame Shelly, after Nanny, Sam Sharp, comes Paul Bogle and Gordon. Now, these two men, and particularly Paul Bogle, these are rich men. Paul Bogle, and as black as he was among the upper middle class in Jamaica at the time. And George William Gordon, because of his half-white descendancy, had a privileged position in our political system. And they sacrificed their position of opportunity to fight for the common man. That's what we're
But
doing.
that's what
I
tea
could have
time is
joined
doing, and
any.
I don't this tea time is doing. Don't look here, and you're going to look at me like my mother. I'm tell you that I'm diagnosed mad already, so we're good. That's fine.
Yes.
When I step out and speak about corruption and why the fraud that is happening in Uptown by the bankers and all of the people on page 2. Just remember when Shelly come out, all of Norbrook and all of those parties and all of the invites and all the likes and little presents would I get from the people are so disgusted with me for speaking what is untraditionally thrown underneath the carpet. I have gone in with this. If I have to report, I have no friends. I am going to report on my best friend. I report on Sharon Burke. And they have to understand that that's my business. No, I'm going to talk about it. And people are used to doing reporting on poor people, them thief, the aki, lock them up. Oh, them tell
Yes.
Tinger. And I'm here saying all that money a scam up a Sagicor. And I have media houses calling me. How dare you talk about why are you bringing down? No, we're not bringing down you. They're all bringing another thief. I'm only covering it just like how we would cover the regular man. You understand? So, in my eyes, I am also doing something revolutionary. You have to be strong. You have to don't need any
Absolutely.
friends, and you don't need any turkey. And I have to do with what I have to do. You understand? So we have to stand up and say what is right and calling out. And if what you're saying, which I'm learning more and more, it is what we are saying on the bloggers, that it is not sided, it is news. And if it smells like corruption, we're covering it.
Absolutely. And I think it's time, Shelley, for us to change the narrative from being divided by parties into being united by purpose.
And we
We
need
think
to
about it.
also not only party, we have to change the narrative on how crime and how people are treated being poor, and why brown, why my skin color gets me more privilege. I never choose it. But why we have to, we have to the
Yeah,
classism in
classism.
Jamaica and
Classism.
the rules
There's
for one. This
yeah,
links business in Jamaica
absolutely.
mashing
Yeah,
us up. But
absolutely.
I'm catching a flight to Cayman in the morning. So we have to pack and go pack 2 weeks because the business have to go on. Yes,
Absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure having you,
yes.
Madam Shelley.
And
I
I'm
really
looking
enjoyed it.
forward to scheduling you on our tea time. So we can
Absolutely.
put
I'm
on my
looking forward
makeup and proper eyelash, and I don't know what color wig. What's your favorite color, sir?
to Royal Blue.
Royal blue. I'm gonna find a royal
Yes,
blue wig for you, sir.
Sure, and you can put on some gold. So gold and royal
Gold and
blue is
royal
like
blue. All right. And
absolutely, absolutely.
when I would like to have one thing, because your wife, I don't know her, but hopefully
Mhm.
when you get into the part into the White House, tell
Mhm.
her that I want to work with her on developing social projects, something like what Nancy Reagan did, whether it is
Mhm.
drugs or say no to drugs or something that is,
Yes.
one campaign I remember as a little girl that rang out. I don't care who came up with it, but two is better than too many. It stood in
Mhm.
my mind, and we need women that are taking the roles of responsibility to help. And I hope when she comes by your side, you let her know that Shelly Curran want to help roll out a national campaign that is of value to the entire Jamaica.
Absolutely. And by the way, it's not the White House, it's going to be Jamaica
Yes,
House.
yes, good.
So, yeah, man. But my wife, she'll be happy. Her passion is for children in particular. She cares a lot about, especially those that have any form of challenges, social or developmental and stuff like that. That's her area,
Yes.
and I'm sure she'll be
Well,
happy to work
we
with
have
you on it.
something in common. My son died. He had severe cerebral palsy, and he lived
Hmm.
to 18 years. So I'm
18
proud and
years.
sad because he had
Yes.
severe, never walked, never talked, 100 seizures a
Wow.
week. So it wasn't an easy road. S-
I can just
Yes.
imagine. I, you're a strong woman. You're a
Yes.
strong mother,
I told you I had the
and
nanny spirit.
you definitely do. And you have the Marcus Garvey spirit too.
Yes, I have to go read up some more.
Yeah, man. So next time I will be able to talk some more on Marcus Garvey, and we'll
Yes,
look at
and
his
you'll
legacy.
come on my beautiful set. It's very expensive.
Sure. Where is it?
No,
Where's
I
your
can't
set
tell you
located?
the GLP one do a lot of things to me. You'll get the invitation and the
No problem.
location. Mm-hmm.
No
All
problem.
right.
See you soon. Take
Take care.
care.
Have
All
a
the
great
best.
night. Okay.
Good night
Bye
to you as
bye.
well. Thank you. Bye bye. All right, friends. You saw our goodly lady, Shelly-ann Curran from the um, Shelly-ann Tea Time program. It was a real pleasure chatting with her. I'm looking forward to going on her program as well to explain some more about the UIC and how we can work together to advance the interest of Jamaica for all Jamaicans. I'm going to bid you good night as well, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. For those of you who can, please do come out to our demonstration on the 19th, Sunday the 19th, that this Sunday coming. The location will be sent out shortly. If you want it, maybe Naive, you can put the number up on the screen so you can WhatsApp or call in so you can get the information, in advance. But yeah, we're heading out on the streets on the 19th of this month. That's this Sunday coming. Naika, can you put the number on the screen for our friends to see that they can call in or WhatsApp to get the information? Okay, there we go. So WhatsApp the 471-6598 so you can get the flyer and so you can join us. Thanks to all of you. Miss Dorothy Elliott, I saw your comments. I know the feeling, the cost that it takes to do the work you're doing. Keep it up to the best of your ability, and hopefully we can raise some money to help you offset that. Amazing interview, said JamaicanTV.com. Glad you could be on with us, and thank you. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Thanks again. See you soon. And remember, one Jamaica, we're stronger together. Take care. All the best.